Well, how's it going there, college and high school football fans? Long time no see. My goodness, a week has gone by, and we've already got ourselves some action. You already know, guys, high school football has officially begun. That good old week 0, man, that thing came fast, didn't it? And, of course, college football, we are just days away now. My gosh, we are 6 days away, really, from finally getting down and getting on in to that gridiron of that college football. Oh my gosh, it's going to be so much fun. Super excited for all this madness coming. And, I'm ready to roll. I know this guy's ready to roll. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to, of course, the host of Step Point here on IE Sports Radio, the host of the SoCal Sports Show, the host here on Teran Rodriguez, and of course, IE Sports Radio Hall of Famer, ladies and gentlemen, Teran Rodriguez. What's going on, Teran? How you doing, brother?
Hey, Larry B. Great to be here. Great to be talking some high school and college football with you. High school season is just getting underway. College football season will be also getting underway. Let's go.
Oh, let's get it, man. I'm all ready. Let's go. Man, this is going to be another fun one. As always, we appreciate you guys, man. Here we go on a Sunday. I know today was kind of a weirdo. Sorry, yesterday couldn't work out, but it's all good. We fixed it. We had to call an audible. And here we are today. We are back at it and ready to roll, guys. Today, we're going to get a little bit more in. The last week was a little bit more high schoolish. This week, we'll get definitely into some more college, but we are ready to roll, man. And I'm telling you, it'll be commercial free because we got to get through it. We are ready. I hope you're ready. Let's get it. You are now tuned in live with 3 and Out College Edition right here on IE Sports Radio. Your direct feed for all. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, here we go, guys. This is, like I said, gonna be a fun one. Not necessarily the longest show, but gonna be a fun one. It's probably like one of our only short shows we ever do because Teran and I always seem to take the full hour and a half on Saturdays. So we're gonna get there. But with that said, okay, so that was a quick little introduction here for our awesome sponsors, of course, Planet Jerky and Seal the Deal Wax. Seal's got to show them some love momentarily. But before you do that, make sure you check us out here. X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, IE Sports Radio. Show us some love, man. Let us know, man. Show us love. Be with us, jump on with us. Be a part of our journey. Check out iSportsRadio.com. Also, you can follow us all over the place. Check out all of our stuff down here, guys. We are everywhere. Apple Podcasts, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcast, we are all over the place. Check us out on YouTube. Subscribe. Show us love. Check out our custom-made webpage, of course, 3 and Out College Edition, or iSportsRadio.com/3 and Out College Edition. Check us out right here. Grab you some merch. Sale right now, man. IE Sports Radio summer sale, 20% off. Shipping over freaking $50. Sorry, orders over $50. Shipping is free. All that good stuff, man. Check us out right here. 3 and Out, IECE. Oh yeah, you gotta show us love. You can follow this guy right here at Teran Rodriguez 1. You can follow me, your boy Larry B, at the THE_LB53. Before without further ado, let's get on over to our sponsors, Planet Jerky and Seal the Deal. Show them some love. When we come back, it's nonstop football action. You are listening to the 3 and Out College Edition right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is supposed to be. Right back after this.
Hi, eSports Radio fans. This show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
Welcome back, college and high school football fans. Here we go, guys. We are rolling, man. We are into the show and ready to get it, man. We appreciate you all for tuning in once again. You are now tuned in live with 3 and Out College right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that sports. Huge shout out and thank you to our sponsors, Planet Jerky, Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, and Seal the Deal Wax Seals. Delicious jerky, awesome wax stamps. Show love, man. We appreciate you. Here we go, man. We already got some chat going on. Thank you, Jen B, jumping on in. She says, go Purple Raiders. Well, we're going to talk about them in just a few minutes, actually. But, Teran, we had some high school football already, man. It's already begun. Week 0 it already passed, bro. Week 0 is gone.
Week 00 for that matter.
Yeah, 00, really. Blues here. Blues here.
Hi, Blue.
Blue's just doing the blue thing, you know. She's ready for the show. She loves her some high school and college football. It's about that time, man. So, Teran, you mentioned something a little bit ago that I was going to mention, but you got to see. I can't steal the Teran spotlight, man. Teran's like the insider of high school, especially for Southern California. Teran, talk to us, man. Certain young man had a big game in week 00, man. How about that?
Yeah, I kind of blanked on his name, but it was a USC commit for Sierra Canyon. He had 3 interceptions for Sierra Canyon in their win over Punahou. Now, that's a pretty solid opponent that they just beat. I think Punahou is a very solid team from Hawaii. Sierra Canyon always has a lot of talented players. I know some of their coaches, one of which Bruce Bible, good friend of mine. He's doing great things. I think he's like the manager or like the behind the scenes guy, but he does a lot of great work. That Sierra Canyon team is a machine. So for those that are thinking that they're a basketball school, no, they're actually quite a bit of everything school, especially football. They'd actually win the CIF Southern Section Championship in 2017, I want to say 17, if not 8. Yeah, I think it was 17. But the Sierra Canyon team looks promising to start, and they play in such a tough league. I think it is the Angeles League. I think that's the league that they're in. It's like a 2-tier league with like Loyola, St. Paul, Alamany, all those really talented teams. So I think Sierra Canyon is a very solid team, and they're going to be on everyone's radar.
That's insane, man. I mean, you gotta love it. Once again, some of those Hawaii teams, some of them are just insane, man. Like I know, of course, we talked about Kahuku. Obviously, they're a major team. A big one. I mean, speaking of Kahuku, did you know they played this weekend as well, Teran?
Yes, I did. And I'm sorry, the league that Sierra Canyon plays, it's the Mission League. So my bad.
The Mission League.
They play teams like Sarah of Gardena, Loyola of Los Angeles, Alamany, which is Miller Moss's alma mater, etc.
Probably Dorsey too. No, maybe Dorsey.
I don't think Dorsey's in that league. I'd have to double check.
I forgot the league. I'm sorry.
For like private schools.
Yeah, that's right. And Dorsey's a public. But Teran, Kahuku, last year they were known as a giant killer for 1 week, man. They got destroyed by Mater Dei, but the very next week took out every bit of aggression they ever had on St. John Bosco. And though it wasn't a game that was far, it was like 39-33, something like that. They still won. They defeated St. John Bosco, really ruining their chances for a national championship last year. Well, last night, Kahuku, or not last night, but this past weekend, man, Kahuku took on number 2 Bishop Gorman, the defending national champions. Teran, do you think Kahuku was another giant killer last night?
I don't know. Bishop Gorman has stacked across the board.
Well, Teran, Bishop Gorman showed how stacked they are, and they just happened to knock off Kahuku 33-7. Yeah, it was
No signs of
it was
rust there.
yeah, no, it was a toughie. You feel kind of bad for Kahuku because you can only wish that they played a little bit better in this one, but just not to be, man. Bishop Gorman starts off their campaign this year with a nice little victory, 1-0, as we say, right? 1-0, getting it done, looking pretty solid, man. And also, Teran, I don't know if you saw this one. I'm pretty sure you already did, but a huge Georgia game. Big Georgia game, man. I know you already exactly already seen it. Number 21, man, in the country, man. Milton. I don't know why it says number 21 there. Number 6, actually. They were number 6 in the country. Interestingly enough, they just snuck in last year. Buford was this team. Buford was that team a couple of years. I think even last year, Buford was up there. I think at like number 6 or 7 or 8 or somewhere up there in the top 10. And well, Buford kind of dropped off a little bit. Milton, I think, defeated them last year. Regardless, man, to even get up there. Correct me if I'm wrong, but once again, Milton. Don't quote me on that, but Milton, definitely a solid school, man, and they have climbed their way into the top 6. They're not going nowhere, I don't think. And Buford, man, they played these guys a couple nights ago, and it was a very hard-fought game. But Milton comes out with this victory, man. How about that game, man? How about that? How about the win, though?
Yeah, it was a big win for Milton. I thought it was a very well-balanced game, very defensive game for that matter. And that's kind of what football is all about. So I think it was a hard-fought game by both teams that are nationally ranked. And Milton proved that they deserve to be in the top 10. Now, can they rise? That still depends. But I think they're still a very good team, and I think they're only going to get better. And their defense really showed.
Big time, man. Looking here, courtesy of MaxPreps.com. This is really cool, man. This is class of 2026 standout. Bryce Perry Wright got the Wolves on the scoreboard with a safety late in the third quarter to cut the deficit to 13-2. Interestingly enough, after a Chris Garland interception, and Ethan Irvin punched it in for 11 yards out. And Dayton Areola connected with Sam Harkins on a 2-point conversion to make it 13-10 with just over 9 minutes to go. Dude, Buford actually had to fight back in this thing. Milton started out this thing pretty solid. They were leading this thing pretty healthy and crazy, right? I mean, it's just crazy how this happens. But, yeah, man, it was a great game. And, yeah, it says here this is the closest that Buford would get. And that was pretty much it, man. So these guys are getting it. They're going to actually be playing. This is crazy. So the Eagles, man, these guys are going to be playing. Let's see here. I think it's like 6A or 7A champs of Florida there or Georgia. They're playing against American Heritage, number 20 American Heritage, in a couple of weeks here next Friday. That's going to be a hell of a game, Teran. I'll tell you. Looking forward to that, man. Seeing Milton get out there and do their thing. Let's see if they can win it.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a great matchup. American Heritage, another really good team right there. Oh. I think that it's going to be a barn burner between those two teams.
Oh, yeah. They're currently ranked number 20 in the country, and let's see what these kids can do, man. I'm really excited to see where they are. Next week, for sure, we're going to have a lot more updates, too, like on where they're possibly committed to and all that good stuff. But remember, last weekend, Teran, we talked a lot about the high school. Didn't want to get too hung up on that because I know right now we talked about some junior college and everything last week as well. But, Teran, let's get it, man. Let's go ahead and jump on in to some, obviously, high school and junior college as well as last week. This week, let's jump a little bit into some D3, D2, NAIA, and jump all the way in, get a little introduction into next week for those college games. So first things first, Teran, dude, the top 25, I still don't see it, which is kind of crazy, but I'm just using last year's. Actually, no, theirs is up. Actually, the top 25 is up. Some of these I had to use last year's, but yeah, man. So I don't know. How do you feel? Cortland last year lost a lot of talent. Solid team, the Division III champions last year. North Central still has tons of talent there. Whitewater, Wartburg, Mount Union, obviously, we're seeing Jen talking about them a little bit ago. Right now, man, I don't know. I feel like it's actually a pretty even fight right now going into this season with all of those teams. Overall, right now, I mean, we're looking at, let me see here, taking a look at some of these games coming on up here. We got some pretty solid games. Of course, Division 3 is the one that starts in September. Remember that territory? I mean, I played D3 myself, so you have to wait all the way till the first week of September. It's crazy. Like, they never anything early. But certainly looking forward to seeing some of these matchups. But yeah, first things first, Teran, do you feel Cortland should be ranked number one, or do you think North Central should be ranked number one heading into this preseason?
I think for Cortland, I think for now they'll be number one,
Yeah.
but I think North Central is knocking on that door. If there's one word to describe the D3 rankings, it's going to be interchangeable.
Yeah, no, it's true. I think that's exactly where we're going to be at, what we're doing, because most of all, man, I mean, Cortland is just such a beastie team, man. But I don't know. I think we might get that rematch this year. Portland and North Central, man, because those two teams are such powerhouses. But then again, Mount Union, they could be the one to jump in there and be like, oh, sorry, no. Because, I mean, come on, man. Mount Union has been a dominant team since 1993. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they really have. This team they've been super solid since, I mean, my gosh, how many decades is that now? Almost 3 full decades. Oh, actually, yeah, 3 full decades. So, I mean, they've been a dominant team. So, overall, but
Over
yeah,
30
looking at,
years.
yeah, crazy, right?
93. So, yeah, it's 31 years, if math
Insane.
serves me correctly. Yeah.
Absolutely insane. You gotta love it though. I'm enjoying that. I love the journey, right? So, but yeah, man, there's all kinds of cool stuff in that week one. I mean, well, kind of not, but let's see here. I was looking at a couple of these games earlier. Nothing to get too excited about. We don't really have any big time matches. That's the weird part about Division 3 too, is that everything's obviously, you got everything spread apart, but they don't really like to put together too many super good matchups. I feel like they can save it all for the playoffs.
Yeah, I think that because the first rankings, as the old saying goes, the first rankings are sometimes the worst rankings. And once we find out who is amongst that elite, and once we get a feel for who these teams really are and who are the contenders and pretenders, I think that's when the matchups will really get spicy and interesting.
No, it's true. I mean, Mary Hardin Baylor playing Bethel out of Tennessee. I think it's an NAI school. Actually, no, it's not. Sorry, that's the Bethel of Tennessee. That's the Division 3, of course. But that should be solid. Wheaton, a big time playoff team last year, man. Wisconsin Oshkosh, that should be pretty solid. Okay, it's another team, 2 teams that were in there last year. Also, John Carroll and Whitewater, another pretty solid matchup there, Teran. We saw those teams there last year. So yeah, but as Jen D says here in the chat room, yeah, Mount Union says they lost a lot of seniors. They did, but okay. Teran had a famous saying about Ohio State that I just loved a couple of years ago. And I think the same thing applies to Mount Union. Ohio State doesn't rebuild, they just reload. And I feel like that's Mount Union too. They just reload. Like, seriously, man. I haven't seen a bad Mount Union team in about 30 years. I mean, my gosh, this team has been so good. And you take a look at how talented they are. You take a look at how much how the caliber of the players they got on their team. This is one hell of a team. So realistically, they're taking on Furfrum, I believe, or I forgot what they're called, Teran. But yeah, Mount Union's probably going to do the usual undefeated season.
Not Furman, right?
No, not Furman. No, that would be cool. Mount Union needs to start playing those damn schools, man. Big monster schools. What's going on, Ralph, in the chat? But yeah, man, no. I feel like right now, yeah, John Carroll broke the top 25 this year, and they did. So that's going to be pretty cool to see John Carroll. I'm looking forward to that matchup they got there. But yeah, Teran, I mean, really. And then, of course, looking at some of our SIAC schools here in SoCal, I mean, Redlands probably still going to be the team. You know what I mean? Like, isn't that funny, Teran? We don't really got a lot to look at here. I mean, Chapman, another team that could possibly be a pretty good team. Still trying to get over the weirdness of not having Whittier anymore as a team. It's kind of weird. Did you know what they did there? Fun fact in the SIAC, you know what they did?
What
Weirdest thing.
happened? What they
So
do?
since Whittier is gone, and there's like no other D3 opponent in sight, unless you go to like Oregon or something, what they did was they obviously are still playing 9 games, which is annoying. But regardless, instead of playing one more other opponent, they're actually playing one more team twice. So the SIAC plays each other, all of them, but then one team has a home and away series with each other in the SIAC all season. It's weird. It's like, yeah, it's
Fascinating. So they're basically adopting a little mini NFL thing.
Slightly, yes. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of like,
in terms of like division, like AFC West plays each other twice, AFC East plays each other twice, etc., etc., etc.
But it's only for one. It's the weirdest thing. So it's kind of like,
yeah.
Raiders and Chargers play each other 2 times home and away, but then they play the Chiefs and the Broncos just once, home or away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the weirdest thing. Like, but obviously
it's kind of what I'm comparing to. Yeah.
To make up the loss of Whittier not having a program no more. I saw a really cool video over the weekend talking about Santa Barbara, by the way, when they used to have a team.
And Long Beach State used to have a team back in the old days.
And sucks, but even UCR did, man. The Highlanders, that was 1955 through 75, though they haven't had a football team since Rudy got carried off the field. So but
love it. Love the Rudy
gotta love it, right? But Teran, let's get on into it, man. NCAA Division II. Okay, so these guys, look, D2 is fun. D3, I think we already have our obvious, punchers. We have our Mike Tysons and Evander Holyfields and George Foremans and Muhammad Ali's. We know the guys who are going to be up there at the top punching each other. We know who those guys are. Division 2, you don't really have that. Division 2 is so much fun. And I like this show today because it's an introduction as well into what we'll be talking about all season long. But yeah, man, D2 is a lot of fun. So this year we got some good ones, man. Obviously, we're looking forward to, I think they're getting going starting as early as next week. I think we might have some D2 action. Let me take a quick look here, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a little bit later, probably in the next coming week. So let's see here. We do, Teran. This weekend, we got ourselves. Actually, no, we don't. Oh, I got too excited. 9 days or 10 days, 11 days, excuse me. So Thursday, the 29th, we start having some D2 action. And okay, Teran, don't you love this? How D2 and NAIA, everyone always says they're comparable to one another. Well, it's kind of cool, man. D2 and NAIA, they do play each other. They do have some games scheduled against one another. Same rules, just completely different sanctioning body. NAIA, NCAA. But yeah, man, Reinhardt, of the NAIA playing Carson Newman of D2. That should be pretty fun coming up here. I love how some of these, switch back and forth and do all that fun stuff with that. But yeah, I mean, another one, Valley City in Minnesota State, another one that looks pretty fun here. So, I mean, we see that. But before we get too far ahead into the schedule and everything, Teran, last year, man, it was my gosh, Hardin just ran all over these guys, man. Colorado State, Colorado School of Mines. 2 years in a row, Teran. Mines gets there and just can't seem to make it happen. Like I said, last year it was you felt so bad for those guys, right? For School of Mines. I mean, they got absolutely destroyed. It was a beat down, man. And Hardin, a team that we're like, whoa, like who are these guys? They're running like the triple super duper, I don't know what you want to call it, option. Remember that? We watched them, like they had running backs for days just running all over this team. And it was a crazy sight to see. But yeah, 38-7 last year, man. Harding just destroys School of Mines. What do you think, Teran? I mean, obviously D3, the D3 championship was crazy. SUNY Cortland defeating North Central 38-7. And then the very next day, D2, we're like, yeah, it's going to be a good game. Well, somebody scored 38, Teran, but then there wasn't the 7. There wasn't 37, it was 7. School of Mines only got that one touchdown. Teran, do you think? I mean, there's a lot of returners, I think, on this team for Harding. Do you think they can do it again?
I think so. With all those returners and the experience that they have, I think they will be a tough out for anybody.
Yeah, I think they have a good chance at it, man. School of Mines, man, they're starting things off conference already. They're starting things off against CSU Pueblo. So that's pretty crazy on its own that they're starting off with I mean, hey, the Raiders and Chargers are playing the first game. Why not, right? I mean, hey,
Yeah, and we've seen other colleges like face one another to kick off conference. I think Stanford and USC did that, but that was a rivalry game. So
yeah.
I don't know, but yeah.
Well, then next Saturday we got, of course, all the other games flooding into D2, and of course next week we're gonna get more into that. When we talk about those games and everything. But yeah, Teran, I love it though. Looking at these games early, taking a look at who could possibly be who. But overall, look, Harding, hell of a team. This team is gonna come with a fury. Do you think, Teran, and this team, they kind of had to start rebuilding a little bit? Do you think after 2 years of getting there, Colorado School of Mines, because this is crazy, right? I mean, this isn't just getting back to a like this year with FCS. You're not just getting back to the playoffs. Like, I'm sorry, you're not just getting back to the game itself. You have to go to the playoffs now. And we've
Yeah.
always known this in D3 and D2. You got to do the whole deal. It's the whole season, then the playoffs, and then if you're good enough, it's basically the Final Four. So, it's a long journey, man. So, do you think School of Mines has another one in them?
Yeah, I think they do, but it's going to be a tough road. This year could possibly be, I wouldn't say do or die, but make or break, because I'm hoping for their sake they don't be like, and this is no offense to Bills Mafia. I'm hoping they're not like the Buffalo Bills that make it to the Super Bowl and then come 4 straight times and unfortunately come away with no championships. So I'm hoping for Colorado School of Mines' sake that they do break through. I mean, you can't stink forever. You can't lose in the big game forever. You're eventually going to break through. And those players that do return, the senior class that the previous seniors left behind, they set the bar. Now it's their turn to basically raise the bar and build off of what that senior class did.
Oh yeah, and we're gonna see. I'm looking forward to it. Harding, by the way, starts off against Southern Nazarene, so they're starting later in September. But yeah, man, we got ourselves some fun stuff in D2. If Colorado School of Mines does this, if they get back there, they got to win this damn thing, man. I'm sorry, they have to. You can't get there 3 times in a row like that. So, Teran, getting to the NAI, last year we had a first-time champ. This was cool, man. Kaiser defeating Northwestern, obviously Northwestern being the big champs before that. Kaiser, man, these guys were in the playoff for a couple of years. And the Seahawks, that's right, the Seahawks out of Florida, the Panhandle too, they're up there on the top. But Kaiser gets this thing done, man. 31-21 last year. I mean, Teran, we both picked Kaiser, I think, too. We were so excited for these guys because it's a feel-good story. You don't see it. You don't see it too often. You really don't. You don't see that kind of fun season where it's like, I mean, almost the Argos. Remember them, of course, West Florida, a couple years back. Barely first time being a program, and they made it all the way to the championship. They made it twice in a row, and just so many cool stories. Fortunately, it didn't happen for them, but Kaiser, man, of course, they weren't a new program, but that was their first time in that game. And you know what, man, you gotta love a good feel-good story, right? You gotta love that how they finally got there and made it happen. I love that story last year, and I'm really looking forward to this season. So, okay, so going into this season, obviously, we got a ton of monster talent here. First things first, tons of returners for Kaiser. They did lose a significant, I think they lost a quarterback, I think the running back and a receiver, I think all gone. But regardless though, man, these guys are a strong team. Kaiser right now just they have the hot hand, and there's a big chance that they'll do it. But we shall see. Regardless, man, talking about the NAIA right now, this is another crapshoot. It's a lot like, right? It's a lot like the NCAA Division II. It's just wide open. So another thing is Kaiser actually has a chance to repeat. I honestly think they can. What do you think?
I think so too. The NAI, like I mentioned with the Division III, I think will also be interchangeable with talented teams popping in and out of the top 10, top 5. And soon we will be getting our clear-cut favorites and contenders for that championship.
Oh, that's for sure, man. I mean, Lindsey Wilson up and they've been in and around. They won the COVID year, but they're still a strong team. Reinhardt, we talked about them right now taking on Carson Newman of the NCAA. This is another team to keep your eyes open for. A very strong team there. So I mean, we have these teams who continue year after year to produce, to field great teams, but once again, all comes down to performance in the field. I'm looking forward to seeing this year. I want to see Kaiser. I want to really put these guys under magnifying glass and take a look at these guys, and see. I want to follow them a little bit closer than we have in previous years. And I know we we got some other teams like obviously Morningside. Okay, they're a team that, I mean, they weren't that good historically at all, and this year, my gosh, they come out. Well, in the last couple of years, they've been very solid, winning a national championship, I think in 2019 or something like that, or it was pretty good, they but yeah, they're actually starting their season off versus Benedictine out of Kansas. So lots of great talent to look forward to this year. Once again, this is kind of a quicker show today because we're supposed to be on yesterday and all these things happen. So we had stats and players and everything to get into, but next week, of course, obviously we'll have lots more of that. But yeah, Terrence, so just the quick Diet Coke version, I guess, of all of these, NAIA is going to be a lot of fun. I do feel that Kaiser could totally do it again this year, and we shall see. So, all right, Darren, we got through the last week, of course. Like I said, talked about high school and junior college, both high school, national, max preps. We got into the 3C2A. Obviously, for those of you who don't know, Riverside alumni here, KRCC, love my Tigers. They won it all last year. So proud of them defeating Cog San Mateo. Can they do it again? Teran and I both think they can. And obviously in the that was a 3C2A. In the NJCAA, I think we're both just going. I mean, we the Reavers, dude. Iowa Western, I think they can do a three-peat. They're so good. So, we talked about that last week. Obviously, Division III today, some Division II, some NAIA. All right, Teran. Are you ready for the D1s? You ready for those?
Yeah.
All right, man. So obviously last year, Division One was fun last year. That's the first time I really enjoyed Division One in a long time. Because dude, South Dakota, they did it, man. South Dakota, the Jacks. FCS is so much fun. And South Dakota State, you know what I love about South Dakota State? The fact that they've been under the thumb of North Dakota State for so many freaking years. And now they get an explosion. 2022, national champions. And they knocked off. How sweet, right, Teran? We talked all about that a couple of years back when they knocked off their rivals in the national championship. Then here we go again. Last year, it was fun. They took on Montana, and obviously last year, man, 23 to 3. They just knocked off Montana, winning 2 national championships now. Teran, is this the decade? Much like how the 2000 teens or 10s, whatever you want to call them, much how that belonged to North Dakota State. Is this the decade where it belongs to South Dakota State, or do you think North Dakota State will come back and take that crown?
I think North Dakota State is definitely still going to be around and about, but it just shows that South Dakota State does have some chops. And something good about South Dakota winning is that they'll be able to put their names on the map when it comes to being a part of that big time Midwestern team. And I think that's huge right there, beating your rival in the championship game. And it's so crucial just because because of like recruiting process and whatnot. So I think that's so big for South Dakota to pull off that win and put themselves on the map and make themselves known, saying, "Hey, we have a team that is just as good as North Dakota State and whatnot." But North Dakota State, I think, is going to probably bounce back, and they're not going to go anywhere. Obviously, I think they're just getting started.
Oh yeah, I think a good question is, Darren, is because we often talk about this on the show from time to time. If this is your first time tuning in, guys, trust me, it's always a fun season. Taryn and I have been doing this for 7 years now. And we've been on here, obviously now, first time on StreamYard, we're loving it. But Taryn, we talk about this a lot. The teams that can make the jump. And the crazy part about it is, you got Gen B talking about the Penguins. That's right. Youngstown State, a team who won it also not too long ago. Youngstown State has themselves a national championship. Can they come back and make it happen? This year, I'm not sure, but I know they have a pretty solid team. But regardless, some of these teams make the jump, Taryn, and some don't. We've talked about Mount Union making the jump for years, but they're just like, no, we're good, bro. Like, you know what I mean? I know it has to do also with population of students and everything, but dude, I think Mount Union might just qualify for D2. So I mean, come on, like, when is that going to happen? But we also see schools like in the D2 ranks. We don't really have a big juggernaut who's been eating everyone alive. But there has been teams that have moved up. Tarleton State was D2. If you remember them, Darren. And now they're freaking playing in the FCS and they're winning games. Like they're winning games and they made the jump. James Madison, Taryn. If you remember, they were the team the only team. What was that?
The Jimmies.
The
Isn't that their
Jimmies.
mascot name?
No. I think you're talking that's
sorry.
John Carroll's, the Johnnies.
The Johnnies.
Johnnies.
I got Jimmy and Johnny mixed up.
Jimmy, Johnny, Joey, we got the, all that fun stuff. But but no, remember the Dukes, the purple team.
Yeah, Dukes. Okay.
They were the team to
I'm thinking
knock
of Jamestown,
off.
not James Madison.
Oh, yep. Nope, you're right. Jamestown, the solid school there. But yeah, Taryn, in 2016, the Dukes were the only team to knock off North Dakota State, and that like they would have had like a freaking 11 year in a row, Pete. Okay, but if it wouldn't have been for that 2016, and James Madison made the jump a couple years ago, and James Madison has been doing it, man. They're freaking playing. I don't know what division they're in, a conference, but they're freaking getting it, man. Like James Madison is playing good football.
Madison, like the Sun Belt? Sorry to cut you off there.
No, they are. I think they're somewhere in there. They're somewhere. They're Sun Belt. They're somewhere, and they're playing, dude. They're playing and they're playing good too. So, like last year, they were over here like staying undefeated for a while, and they're doing good. So, once again, you see those teams make the jump. South Dakota State. They're the newer, they're champs, but they've still been a dominant team. North Dakota State has had to make the jump for years now, and they still haven't. So I mean,
Oregon before COVID happened.
That's right. That's right. And yeah, I mean, taking a look at the schedules though, Taryn. I mean, I'm looking here at South Dakota State, dude. They're going to be playing Oklahoma State this year to start things off. How you like that?
That's a solid team. That's a solid team out of the Big 12. I think Oklahoma State, home of Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, who is quite relevant. But that's a solid team, solid top 25 team. That's kind of on the fringe. So I think it's a good start.
That's a fun one. You have Oklahoma State. Obviously, they're playing them, and I'm really looking forward to that. Obviously, we have a good one here, Youngstown State. Obviously, that's going to be a fun one later on in the year. Obviously, they got North Dakota State, South Dakota, and North Dakota, two teams who have been upsetters recently. So, I mean, that's in their league and everything. And then, Taryn, look at North Dakota State. They're playing Colorado to start the year, man.
Coach Prime, I think that's another good Big 12 school. Flying under the radar, but I think that's still a good start for a team like that. I think that could be a very good matchup right there.
That's going to be fun. Seeing these two teams play those teams, man. I mean, yeah. So on the 31st, we have Oklahoma State or South Dakota State at Oklahoma State. And on the 29th, we have North Dakota State at Colorado. Look, man, these two teams, they've been. Remember a couple of years ago when they played Arizona? North Dakota State played Arizona and they only lost by a field goal.
Right. Yeah, I do remember that.
Teran, I mean, what is it, dude? What is it? Tell me. Do you know something I don't? Like, what is it? Why are these fools not making the jump to the FCS, man? I mean, sorry, to the FBS.
Because they don't want to have like maybe a boom year one year and then a bust year the next year, and then everyone looks at it and says that it's the worst. It was the worst decision ever.
Hey, you can always go backwards. Remember Idaho?
Yeah.
You know, the Vandals were a D1 team for a D1 single A for a while, and they were like, we're not getting the recruits, where things aren't happening, we're getting killed out here, you know, and they went backwards. And the Vandals are a pretty solid team in the FCS. So, hey, you can go backwards.
Yeah, this makes me wonder if there can be like relegation for some of these teams.
True. No, this is true, Teran. So, oh man, I'll tell you, we have a lot of fun talking about all those lower ranks. But of course, Teran, I know we only got about 12 minutes left here in the show. So obviously, Teran, let's get to it, man. The FBS, what a lot of these fine folks in the chat room came for, man. FBS time, of course. We know this is the big dog. We know. Of course, we'll talk about the lower teams of the lower divisions as well. But Teran, this is the one, man. Obviously, the big deal last year, just was the hurry up and get to the 12-team playoff. Okay, so Teran, it's not like I bought college football 25 early or anything. Anyway, Teran. But look, I've already gone through like 3 seasons. I love that game, Teran. The 12-team playoff, sweet. I love it. I think it is a awesome playoff. It makes the season so much longer, but it's just oh my gosh, a 12-team playoff is insane. Like, it's a whole new season once you get there. You know what I mean? Like, you're playing a lot of games. I mean, these you can count the games. They're playing 16, 17 games. Like, that's like almost a full NFL season. Well, it is 17 games now. So, what do you think, Teran? I mean, you excited for this 12-team playoff?
Oh yeah, I think I definitely am, just because it'll give other teams a chance. And it's not going to be like a 4-team playoff where basically a few deserving teams are left out and whatnot. So I'm excited for a 12-team playoff. And will it make the season longer? Yes, but I think it'll be beneficial for everybody, because it'll be more of an expansion in terms of playoffs, and no one that is deserving that either goes undefeated, but they don't have the biggest breakout wins, they won't be excluded like Florida State was.
This is true. So we'll see it all happen this year, man. So far, of course, Georgia ranked number 1. Is there a surprise there, Teran? Is there any surprise at all that Kirby Smart's team is number 1? I know, right? It's just it's like common knowledge right now. They're so strong, and they deserve that. They deserve that. Obviously, last year when the confetti fell, it was on Michigan. In Michigan, they have fallen to number 9. Obviously, lots of talent has left the team. Transfer portal was a little busy for those guys slightly. Regardless, we have Jim Harbaugh,
his staff to LA.
Yeah, a lot of players, some transfers, some graduated, some to the NFL. So yeah, obviously they fall to number 9, but hey, they're still up there. Regardless, though, top 10 right now: Georgia, Ohio State. Jen B in the chat room says, "OH."
That's I-O. I-O.
That was a pretty good one. That was a good. I see you, Teran. I see you. Oh, I see you. I'm doing the what do you call it? What's his name? The Robert De Niro. I see you. Okay, gotta do it, man. Teran. Ohio State number 2. Oregon, Texas, Alabama. Nick Saban is officially out of college football. Is that the end of an era? I mean, Belichick's Patriots definitely look at the end of an era now because boy, Judon is gone, man. I mean, dude. they're treating they're treating the Patriots like Sears right now, man. When they were going out of business, everything must go. They're starting over.
Matthew Judon's body will no longer be built by Taco Bell. It'll be built at Magic City. It'll be built by Magic City.
Body by Taco Bell. Oh, that was hilarious.
Body built by Taco Bell.
I love that. I never forget. When you pointed that out, I was cracking up, man. But yeah, man. So, there's that top 5. Then your 6 through 10, Ole Miss, Notre Dame, Penn State, Michigan, and Florida State. I mean, damn, these are pretty solid, I mean, Mizzou snuck in that top 15. That's pretty crazy. You got Mizzou, Utah, LSU, Clemson, and Tennessee from 11 to 15. From 16 to 20, we have OU. Oh, look at that. The two rivals are back-to-back there out of Norman and Stillwater. Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, Kansas State. Oh, no. Teran, there is a serious question that I must ask you before this show is over. They are at number 19. Oh, boy. They've come up. They are like the Jeffersons. They're moving on up. But I got to ask you. Even if they're at number 19 right now, Teran, is the U back?
We'll see. I'm not sold on it until we see them winning the ACC championship and whatnot.
Teran usually has a big fat no, but you know what? I think he's being nice today.
Yeah, that was kind of one of my burning Power 4 questions. With the ACC down this year, will Miami finally be back? I've got some other burning Power 4 questions, but that might be for later on or maybe next week.
Hey, that's going to be fun, right? Then we have 20 through 25, man. Texas Tech, Arizona, Kansas, our Trojans who just can't seem to get right. This is a good one here. North Carolina, man. North Carolina State, looking for these guys, NC State, and of course Iowa at number 25. Teran, I'll tell you, dude, we've had some things, right? We've seen some things happen the last couple of years. I mean, there are some so what are your big burning questions? I love that. I always like asking you this at the start of the year. What are your burning questions looking at this top 25?
So since we have only 4 Power 5 conferences, I kind of have to switch from 5 burning questions to 4. So I already asked my ACC question, but for the Big Ten, my big burning question will be, can any other team challenge Ohio State or Oregon, or are we going to get a Big Ten final between those two? Because everyone in the Big Ten media is picking Oregon, Ohio State. There's no other team that could challenge them. I mean, Penn State can maybe challenge those teams, but they always have a mid team where they're not good enough to challenge, but they're not bad enough to be toward the bottom. Mm-hmm. So everyone is picking Oregon, Ohio State for that Big Ten championship and maybe to see themselves in the college football playoff. And now going to the Big 12, my big burning question for that conference is this. With Texas and Oklahoma gone, who's going to run that conference? Will it be the Arizona schools? Will it be the Rocky Mountain schools? Will BYU finally boon to the top? Will Baylor somehow surprise? Will TCU have a bounce back year after being kind of a one-hit wonder from their championship run?
Yeah.
The list goes on and on. And then, yeah, we got ACC, we got Big 10, Big 12. Oh, yeah, the SEC. I'm sorry. So the SEC, oh, man, my big burning question is this. With Texas and Oklahoma being added, will Georgia and Alabama and any other team that's had success in the SEC still be relevant? Because now the SEC goes from a power conference to maybe a super power conference, because you had probably LSU, Georgia, and Alabama. And now you've got Oklahoma that's up there. Texas is up there. Florida, kind of can be up there. It all depends. I'm not Missouri, obviously, because Missouri is they're so sneaky good. Like, they have such a good recruiting class. If there's any Power 5 team or Power 4 team that has made a complete and massive jump, it's obviously Missouri. I think that is a team that no one's going to be sleeping on. So I think those are my big burning questions. I only limit it to one per conference, and I didn't want to have like 4 just because we're obviously short on time.
Well, that's a great way to segue on out of here, Tara. But I'll tell you, those are some great questions, man. And I love the fact every year is just so fun, right? I mean, college football, here we go. High school football is already in swing, man. I'm looking forward to that. Can we already get to modern day Bishop Gorman? Can we just get to that game already? I am looking forward to that. But yeah, Taryn, here we go, man. We have ourselves, that was basically little previews there of the entire deal from high school, last week high school, and junior college. This week we took care of all the rest of them. And here we go, man. Thank you, Jen, for tuning in. Appreciate it. Here we go, guys. This is it. All right, that's the dress rehearsal, because coming up, man, we have football. It's coming back. This weekend, we got some goodies. I'm looking forward to it, man. We got some fun coming up Saturday. Some of our earliest D1 stuff. We have the Aer Lingus, I think that's how you pronounce that, college football classic, Florida State and Georgia State. 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 12 p.m. Eastern this Saturday. So we are under 6 days to go. You guys, here we go, man. We got Thursday football coming up, all that fun stuff. We got just everything throughout the season. Looking forward to it. Let's have some fun, man. We have ourselves a great season ahead of us. Who will repeat? Who will emerge this year? Who are we going to be talking about that we haven't talked about before? What players will be standing out? I mean, just so many great things, man. Here we go. Teran, any last thoughts, words, comments, anything for all of our listeners out there today?
I will see you all on Thursday at the Santa Ana Bowl for Modern Day and Corona Centennial. Let's go, baby.
Looking forward to that. That's right. Teran will be in the house for Corona Centennial Modern Day. Oh, that's going to be fun. Ladies and gentlemen, that will do it for Teran Rodriguez from your boy Larry B. So our sponsors love Planet Jerky and Seal the Deal Wax Seals. We appreciate you guys. We're so excited to be back. We will see y'all next week. Until then, take care. And as always, God bless.